The University of Texas at Austin, roiled by the news that a state law banning diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts in higher ed would result in dozens of job losses. Roughly 60 staff members who previously worked in DEI roles at UT Austin were given layoff notices this week. Instead, funds from DEI initiatives are going to be redirected to teaching and research. That's according to the university's president. But the NAACP and the American Association of University Professors said in a statement that these terminations were retaliation against employees who had held DEI positions. Notably, students of color make up more than half of UT Austin's student population. And earlier this year, several cultural programs and identity groups on campus lost all of their university funding.
Guys, man, people are starting to realize, man, that DEI is nothing but government-sanctioned discrimination. But guys, watch this.
Now, while all of this is happening, we are also seeing Black students flocking to HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities. And that includes one led by my next guest. Joining me now is Spelman College President Helene Gayle. President Gayle, thank you for joining us tonight. When you see what is happening in Austin and in all these other states that have similar laws that have been passed, how concerned are you about the effect on higher education in this country?
Yeah, so on one hand, as you said, we are getting record applications. So it's good, from that standpoint, it's good for us. On the other hand, for the country, for our nation, it's bad. It is awful that our nation is saying that diversity no longer matters. And so, it's a good news, bad news story, if you will. We have to, if we think about where we are going to be as a nation over the next 30, 40 years, we must think about how are we making sure that all of our children get the opportunity to have the right education that fits for them.
Again, if we're hiring people because of the color of their skin, we're doing it wrong. We are doing it wrong. We have to understand that if we're hiring people because they're Black and they have minimal qualifications, but they're Black, and even though a white person may be better suitable for that job or that position at a college, we're doing it wrong. We're doing diversity for diversity's sake. That's what we're doing. And that is discrimination. That is wrong. And people have to understand that. Again, this lady, from Spelman College, she's saying, hey, I hate to see what things are going to be 34 years down the road. We need diversity. Not that bad. Not that bad. If you want to have so many Black people or brown people or whatever, get into a job, get into a college, get into whatever. Again, what you do to have them meet the standards and be the best so they can beat other people for that spot. Again, Asian people do it all the damn time. But, we got to do diversity for diversity's sake. And again, that's not right. That is not right. We don't need diversity that bad.
As a president of an HBCU, of course, we understand that more and more students are coming to us because they feel safe, they feel they are nurtured, they feel that they are able to express who they are as individuals, and that's great. But we can't take all the students in the nation, and we have to think about what does it mean to retrench from something that is, important to who we are as a nation.
Yeah,
You mean spoiled rotten. And again, that's what a lot of them are. They're spoiled rotten. They can be who they are as individuals. Now, whatever college. But what you're upset about is that what they're upset about is that they're not being spoiled. Right? They're not being catered to. And they want to be catered to, and if they're not, they get upset. Their feelings get hurt. You have to cater to me. You have to treat me better than those white kids over there. You have to treat us better than whoever. Because again, we're oppressed. No, you're not. But again, I mean, there's that one thing that they're being discriminated against at some state college. I mean, not at all. But you're saying they want to feel like they can be who they are. They can be who they are there. I mean, again, they did 25 years ago. But for some reason, they can't now. Yeah, they can't. And they do. I mean, they do. They totally do. But they're not being catered to. And that's what they're upset about. Oh, we can't get in. Scoring less. They're going to take the DEI away. How dare them? That means we have to compete with everyone. No, that's unfair. That's unfair.
Students are voting with their feet. It's not just Spelman that's seeing this. Spelman was up 13% just in the last year, but
Totally.
a bunch of other HBCUs are seeing increases. And it's also not just these anti-DEI laws, it's also that really critical affirmative action decision at the Supreme Court. What are you hearing from your incoming students about why they are choosing HBCUs now in this moment of so much cultural backlash?
So it's a chilling effect. So our students are feeling like we want to go someplace where people want us. They want to be someplace, and we're a very selective institution. The same students who come to Spelman could go to, I won't list all the names of, elite schools in America, but they are the best and the brightest, and they could go to any school in America. And they are saying, it matters to me to be at a school where I am going to be nurtured, where I am going to be appreciated, where who I am is valued, where I look up and see people who look like me, who have achieved a lot, and that means something to them.
I can go wherever I want to go. I don't want to. I want to go to the black college because I want to be around my own kind. Imagine if that were said the other way around. Just imagine. And again, white people, they bend over backwards for people of color right now. They do whatever. Oh, we're not racist. We don't want to offend you. We don't want this. We don't want that. So again, we're going to give you whatever to kind of placate you, to kind of make you feel, even if artificially, that you're special. I mean, right now, black people have to see it. People are bending over backwards. And again, it never does a bit of good to cater to anyone. White, black, male, female, anything. I mean, again, I tell my teenage son, never play to a woman. Never. Because again, it's not going to work out. If you get her by trying to woo her again, it's not going to work out. She is going to expect that. Again, you date somebody that wants to date you. That's the way it works. Nobody needs to play to anyone else. I'm not saying not to make them, again, happy in some ways. I mean, don't be mean to them. But we have to understand, though, if you sit there and you're dancing a little jig every time, somebody turns around to make them feel better. Again, when you stop doing it, they're going to say, hey, wait a minute. That's not right. You've been doing that for the last so many years. Why aren't you doing it now? I don't want to anymore. Well, that's not right. That's racist. That's sexist. Oh, what is? Treating you like I treat everyone else. See, that's what the problem is. When you stop treating people like black people right now, when you stop treating them the way you've been treating them for the last so many years, which is catering to them, they're going to see that as racist. When you start treating them the same way you treat everyone, they're going to get mad.
I want to play this for you. This is from The Breakfast Club's Charlemagne the God, but he was on The Daily Show, and he had this to say about DEI in the workplace last night. Listen.
The truth about DEI is that although it's well-intentioned, it's mostly garbage, okay? It's kind of like the Black Little Mermaid. Just because racists hate it doesn't mean it's good. And you know I'm right, because every one of you has sat through one of those diversity training sessions and thought, this is some bullshit. In fact, maybe the only thing that DEI has accomplished is giving racist white people cover to be openly racist.
I wanted to get your reaction because he's not isolated in his views on that. Probably a lot of people feel that way. What's your reaction?
Yeah, well, I think calling anything a label, DEI, it's become a label, and people are not thinking beyond what does that really mean. There is no question that when you were brought to America as enslaved people, there is a real difference between what our fate is, how we have been allowed into American society, and the reality that there needs to be some way of thinking about how do you make sure that we are making up for, the core basis and reality. Call it what you want.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you cannot say that being brought here as enslaved individuals 400 years ago, building America, and then being denied the very opportunities that America says it allows each individual. There's not some dialogue there. We have to have the dialogue. I don't care what you call it.
See, first off, that right there is what the issue is. You believe you built America. You didn't. You didn't. Did black people assist in building it? Sure. Was it built by black people? No. Not even close. I mean, again, black people were a fraction of the population. I mean, they still are, but they definitely were then. You can say whatever you want to say, but even if black people were to labor on some of the plantations in the South, that's it. That's it. But the fact of the matter is, man, you're not 400 years old either. You were never brought here in chains. You were never brought here as a slave. You weren't. You were born here. You're a president of a historically black college. You do very well. And Abigail, whatever her name is, she is an anchor on CNN. Again, they're not oppressed people. They're not even one bit. But they were never brought here in chains. They were never slaves. And again, you can't make up for the past anyways. But especially not even your past. The distant past that belonged to someone else. Where someone else was oppressed and someone else did the oppressing. Again, there's no one alive today that has anything at all to do with any of that. Not white, not black. No one. And again, we can't make up for past discrimination with present discrimination. You can't do it. It's impossible. The past is in the past. It's over. You can't do it. But the fact of the matter is, again, you try. And then you say things like, well, they brought us here and changed. Who? You? No, they didn't. Nobody did. You were born down the road. Stop it. Stop doing what you're doing. Again, you're claiming oppression, discrimination, while you're actually doing that to other people. You're wanting people to cater to you, and if they don't, you say they're oppressing you. Stop it. Grow up. Guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. You son of a.